Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 12th of September, and on today's podcast, we will be covering a Twitter thread from The Sharp Edge entitled The Humpty Dumpty Principle. In order to transform the world, you first have to break a few eggs. This is the Epstein Humpty Dumpty Institute connection, and it's all about putting the pieces back together. My friends, if you did not take part in the live stream last night, we had Red Pill 78, we had Zach Voorhees, the Google whistleblower, and his IT specialist. He goes by the name of Patrick. One of the greatest live streams that has ever been on this channel, so I highly recommend checking that out. It was extremely important to see what Google is capable of doing and what they've already mastered. It's extremely scary, but I believe that there is a way to turn this around in the end. Guys, before we get into today's podcast, would you please welcome my sponsor, Noble Gold. Hi friends, Thomas from True Reporting here. I wanted to tell you about my sponsor, Noble Gold, and what their plans are for the month of September. For this month, they are giving away a 25% discount on their most popular combo package, the 10-ounce silver bullion bar and the Trump 2020 coin. You can pick up both of these items together with a 25% discount when you go to TrumpCoin2020.com and type in the promo code TRUreporting25 to do it today and pick up an amazing gift. Thanks guys, and enjoy the podcast. All right, guys, good to have you aboard. Before we get into today's podcast, as always, please go ahead and click that notification bell so when I post to this channel, you'll be the first to know. Also, please click that like button. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. And with that being said, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So again, coming from The Sharp Edge, please follow them at The Sharp Edge 1. Great people. Great investigative journalists. It says here, the Humpty Dumpty principle. In order to transform the world, you first have to break a few eggs. This is the Epstein Humpty Dumpty Institute connection, putting the pieces back together. HDI is a nonprofit organization that works closely with the UN, U.S. Congress, and U.S. State Department with the goal of tackling, in quote, difficult global and domestic issues by establishing innovative and strategic partnerships that provide sensible solutions to serious problems. However, as a UN-backed organization, it appears that Humpty Dumpty Institute is more concerned with, in quote, transforming our world through the UN's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, putting the pieces back together. What is the UN's 2030 Agenda? In an eggshell, it's a roadmap for global governance that seeks unlimited migration, as well as to control population, growth, consumption, and production under the guise of sustainability. So they hide it behind a neatly worded company logo, right? This is what they do. Eugenics, infertility, and population growth crisis, part 6. This is from Corey Diggs, and I will tweet out this article, this thread, and also put it in the description box so you can click on these links below. If you think the UN 2030 Agenda has little effect on U.S. policy, you'd be wrong. One only needs to watch the 7 straight hours of the Democratic presidential candidates' town halls about climate crisis to see the UN's 2030 Agenda at play. We'll take a listen real quick.
At times, the evening became so strident that even the candidates on stage couldn't keep up with it all. Cory Booker, for example, he tried to reassure viewers that Democrats don't really want to take people's meat away. Apparently, he'd forgotten that Kamala Harris had just called for that.
I hear about it all the time. Booker wants to take away your hamburger. That is the kind of lies and fear-mongering that they spread out there, that somehow the Democrats want to get rid of hamburgers.
But would you support changing the dietary guidelines?
Yes.
The food pyramid, what people
yes.
to reduce red meat specifically?
Yes, I would.
So Kamala Harris has been thinking a lot about what you eat, and she thinks you eat too much red meat. And she plans to do something about it once she's elected God, that and a number of other things. In fact, there are quite a few things in America that Kamala Harris plans to ban immediately.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes. And I've, again, worked on that. And we
Plastic
can
straws
adapt.
are a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should. Yes.
Banning drinking straws. I mean, it's just mindless and annoying. If you actually cared about plastic pollution, and you should care about plastic pollution because it's horrifying, you would punish China for dumping plastics into the ocean. But of course, no one on the left wants to do that because they're busy sucking up to China. But banning fracking? Now that's just demented. Our energy sector is the single most successful part of the entire American economy. It's one of the only things propping up our trade balance right now. It's been a savior of last resort for rural areas devastated by globalization. Kamala Harris doesn't care about any of that. She probably doesn't even know. When you're a soulless demagogue bent on acquiring power at all cost, details are not relevant. All you see is yourself at the finish line, arms in the air. Ambition is a powerful drug.
Yeah, guys. So these people are, it's embarrassing. Let's just be honest. If I heard someone talking like that, I would have zero respect for them. I would question their sanity as to why they are on stage trying to run for a presidential candidate. I would question what is going through their minds, because in all honesty, this sounds like the wordings of, and I'm not being hateful or anything, this sounds like the wordings of a schizophrenic. These people are on stage talking about banning straws and taking away hamburger meat. What are they even talking about? These people are insane. Continuing forward, today's 2020 presidential candidates seem to echo the very same sentiments that the so-called father of climate change, Maurice Strong, explained when he introduced the concept of sustainability. There's that word again. To the 1992 UN conference, which led to the birth of, you guessed it, Agenda 21. Maurice Strong, patterns of production and consumption in the industrial world are undermining the Earth's life support systems. The explosive increase in population, this growth cannot continue. Population must be stabilized and rapidly. If we do not, nature will. We'll check out this video also.
The explosive increase in population, largely in the developing world, that is adding 250,000 people daily. Deepening disparities between rich and poor that leave some 75% of humanity struggling to live. And an economic system that takes no account of ecological costs or damage, one which views unfettered growth as progress. Mr. President, we have been the most successful species ever. We are now a species out of control. Our very success is leading us to the dangerous future that has brought us here. The concentration of population growth in developing countries and economic growth in the industrialized countries has deepened, creating imbalances which are unsustainable either in environmental or economic terms. Since 1972, world population has grown by 1.7 billion people, equivalent to almost the entire population of the planet at the beginning of this century. 1.5 billion of these live in the developing countries which are least able to support them. Each individual person is precious, and the planet must honor and support all its children. But overall, this growth cannot continue. Population must be stabilized, and rapidly. If we do not do it, nature will.
If that's not Agenda 21 talk, if that's not for depopulation, I do not know what is. That is terrifying, my friends. This is a very well put together thread that you need to show people, because this is what they want. These globalists want that. They want to depopulize us. They want to put us into FEMA camps. They want to enslave us. This is what they want to do. This is facts, guys. It's very dark. I understand that. But if we don't get the word out, we will be rounded up quicker than ever before. Obviously, things have changed since then. I don't know when this was recorded. It looks like it was in the 90s. But again, I believe that we are seemingly past this problem of these people trying to round us up. We basically got around this by the skin of our teeth, having POTUS in. Absolutely, you understand that, right? But if it went the other way, if the election went the other way, you can bet your bottom dollar that there would be FEMA camps, that there would be depopulation, that there would be famine, that we would be broke, that we would be in debt. It would be hell on earth. No doubt about it. Most of the world's leaders today seem brainwashed into believing this UN 2030 sustainability agenda. But what if a government doesn't comply? Would that justify causing Humpty Dumpty to fall in order to, in quote, put the pieces together again and reshape them? What is Humpty Dumpty Institute really about? And how does this organization put the pieces together to shape their vision of the world? Well, if Mark Epstein is anything like his brother, it's safe to say that our Humpty Dumpty's vision for reshaping the world is not like ours. Mark Epstein is a member of their board of directors. Mark Epstein is also a donor to the HDI. In quote, a tax filing from the Humpty Dumpty Institute, where Epstein sits on the board of directors, shows Mark, as you can see him right here, loaned the international charity at least $100,000 in 2014. So there you go. The unexplained wealth of artist turned real estate magnate Mark Epstein, the deceased sex offender's younger brother. There you go. That's the correlation, okay? It says here, HDI appears to focus humanitarian efforts on Asia, the Middle East, as well as Haiti, with a significant emphasis on children. Absolutely. In partnership with organizations such as the Red Cross Society of the Republic of China. Red Cross Society, slush fund, can't trust them. Don't send your money to them, please. Another member of the HDI board is Walter Simon Arbib, president, founder, and director of Skylink. The 2010 OIG report on the INL Air Wing program in Afghanistan and Pakistan reveals that Skylink is a subcontractor of DynCorp. Wow, the DynCorp subcontractors East Inc. and Skylink. So there's the correlation right there. They are definitely linked up. DynCorp has a sordid history with child trafficking in Bosnia, Colombia, and Afghanistan, including one incident that Hillary Clinton appears to have attempted to cover up but was later exposed through WikiLeaks. Hillary Clinton and DynCorp, the untold story of a 15-year-old Belly. In 2009, DynCorp employees hired a 15-year-old adolescent boy to strip dance for them. Wow. Sadly for DynCorp, the attendees recorded the whole experience. One of Jeffrey Epstein's aircraft shared the same tail number as a State Department aircraft owned by DynCorp. Absolutely, that's why they could fly in international waters. They could hide under the radar. This is how smart they are, right? We've already gone over this in other podcasts. So again, one of Jeffrey Epstein's aircrafts shared the same tail number as a State Department aircraft owned by DynCorp. That means that government officials wouldn't hassle them because it's a government-ran plane. It wouldn't bother them. This is a company plane. It would not bother them. Epstein's aircraft remained in commission while the FAA records showed the tail number was still owned by the State Department. Right. One of their own, they're not going to bother them. So then they could traffic, they could do whatever they want to with this plane. Jennifer Diamond is also on the board of directors of the HDI. Her husband, Bob, was pushed out of Barclays amid a LIBOR rigging scandal, and WHO was their usher in a new CEO for Barclays. Jeffrey Epstein, the new CEO, Jess Staley, is in Epstein's little black book. All we need to know are those names. That is the blackmail summit, right? That is what's going to come out, hopefully, in the end. And then there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. Co-founder of the HDI, Constance Milstein, received the 2007 Urban Visionary Award by Cooper Union for outstanding urban citizenship. Jeffrey Epstein dropped out of Cooper Union and NYU's current Institute of Mathematical Sciences just before landing his job at the Dalton School. So again, another correlation with this lady and this institution. Mark Epstein later resided at the Board of Trustees of Cooper Union amidst a scandal which resulted in his resignation, and ultimately remembered as being, in quote, intimately involved in most of Cooper Union's worst decisions. Shortly after the FBI reopened a criminal investigation into the mishandling of classified emails through Weiner's laptop, Abedin attended a fundraiser held for HRC at the home of Constant Milstein, the co-founder of the Humpty Dumpty Institute. So all of a sudden they're all in cahoots, right? If they have anything to do with Uma Abedin, if they have anything to do with HRC, Epstein, all these people, you know they are their cronies. It is possible that similar operations ran by Jeffrey Epstein took place under Mark Epstein through the UN-backed nonprofit. The list of members of their Congressional Advisory Board provides some insight. Desi Wasserman Schultz is just one of an all-star cast of swamp creatures that sits on the board, including Adam Schiff, Sheila Jackson, Lee Al Green, and Maxine Waters. It's a virtual who's who of the most outspoken anti-Trump members of Congress. DNC head Debbie Wasserman Schultz was embroiled in controversy over the DNC server leak and her Pakistani IT aide, Imran Awan, who had unauthorized access to congressional data, resulting in her termination from the DNC. According to congressional documents, 44 House Democrats who hired Imran Awan and his family members who allegedly made, in quote, unauthorized access to congressional data exempted the Pakistani aides from background checks. Look at this woman's face. It looks like a catcher's mitt. Of those 44 House Dems who hired Imran Awan and his family, 7 are members of the Humpty Dumpty's Congressional Advisory Board. Wow. Unbelievable. It says here, one of the congressional delegates in question, Andre Carson, who was appointed to the House Intelligence Committee by Nancy Pelosi, has links to the Muslim Brotherhood as outlined in his February 2015 dossier. According to a Democratic IT aide, Awan and Carson used to play video games together in Carson's office. Were secret communications regarding unauthorized access to congressional data made through those gaming chats? We all remember that when that took place with the Q drops and they were looking into Microsoft, PlayStation, all of these online. This is where they actually held the emails, right? Or very high-end documents that they hid them on these Xbox servers. Idiots. 2 other board members of the Humpty Dumpty Institute, Dr. Robert Hong Zhao and Ruby Wang, work for the Perfect World, the largest gaming company in China. Dr. Zhao is the CEO of Perfect World, while Wang is senior vice president. The Congressional Advisory Board of Directors for HDI members, Yvette Clark, entered the Awan scandal when a top aide to Clark told investigators Clark's chief of staff, Sheila Davis, worked with Awan to steal $120,000 worth of office equipment, hiding potential evidence. The Awan scandal case of unauthorized access to congressional data has been linked to allegations of both money laundering and blackmailing representatives based on the contents of the emails in the files. Absolutely. 2 congressional lawmakers accused of pushing the Muslim Brotherhood agenda, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, recently condemned travel restrictions to Israel for continuously making anti-Semitic remarks while serving the Congress. Rashida Tlaib partnered with none other than the Humpty Dumpty Institute for the Israeli critical trip to West Bank. With all of these connections ending here, one thing is clear: the Humpty Dumpty Institute is not all it's cracked up to be, and something stinks like a rotten egg. And my friends, this was tweeted out to me from the Sharp Edge. A lot of people tagged in this. I wanted to share it with you because it's something to further look into. All of these people are connected. It's never going to go away. All we have to do is crack the code and expose it to the American people, which we're doing day in and day out. My friends, if you found this informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter, and don't forget to leave a like. You can donate to this channel by going to my PayPal, Patreon. We have a P.O. Box and True Reporting merch. I suggest picking that up to support the channel, and all of those links are in the description box below. My friends, take care of one another, love one another, and I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.